So first we will see what is iframe and what is inner frame and how to handle both of them by using Playwright. Why we need to learn how to handle the iframe. How to easily identify whether my element is in the frame or not. So one easy way is that if you have selectors hub installed, here if I inspect this text box again, you can see the selectors hub gives easily saying that this is inside the iframe. This is one easy way to identify whether your locator is in the iframe or not. So if an iframe is located within one more iframe, it is called as the inner frame. So let us see how to handle the inner frames also. So how to get the URL of the frame. So if you go back to the frame, let me scroll up. So here you can see in the frame 100% always a frame will have a URL. So here if I scroll to the right, you can see something called as SRC. So always the URL will be mentioned in the SRC. So this is how we handle the frames in Playwright. And also one more important thing which you need to do when working with multiple windows is always you have to call the method pages of one or whatever pages of two. There is a method called bring to front. So what it means by that, this will bring the hiding window to the front, which means to the visible position. Hello everyone, welcome to Lambda Test. I'm your instructor 𝐕𝐢𝐠𝐬𝐡. This is another video as part of the playlist Playwright with TypeScript. In this video, we will see in detail on how to handle the frames, inner frames and other topics. So let us see what are the agenda of this video. So first we will see what is iframe and what is inner frame and how to handle both of them by using Playwright. Then we will see how to handle the single window, how to handle the multiple window. Similarly, we'll also see how to handle the single tab and multiple tab by using Playwright. First, let us understand what is iframe. So what it means by iframe is, it's nothing but a frame inside another frame. That's called as the iframe. Now, why we need to learn how to handle the iframe? For example, let's say we take this text box. It looks like a normal text box. For instance, if we write the general Playwright code, what we will do? We will write await page.locator and we will inspect this particular text box and we will write dot fill. But when you are working with iframe, it will not happen so. Why, Vignesh? Let me inspect this text box. Now, if I inspect this text box, let the DOM loads, and here you can see it has a div class and everything. It looks like a normal text box. But the problem is if I scroll up slowly, let me scroll up. Yeah, here you can see this entire section is under something called as iframe. So what it means by that, from the original HTML frame, this is a subframe called as the iframe. So what it means by that, imagine this is our web page. So in this web page, this is a separate section. So this text box, this whole section is a separate section called as the iframe. So if you don't handle the iframe and if you directly write the code page.locator and if you try to directly search for this locator, the test will fail. The reason is because the test will search here in the parent frame, but actually the content is realized into this iframe. So what you have to do is you have to move your control from your parent frame into the child frame. In this case, it's the iframe, and then you have to automate it. Now, you can ask me, Vignesh, how to easily identify whether my element is in the frame or not. So one easy way is that if you have selectors hub installed, here if I inspect this text box again, you can see the selectors hub gives easily saying that this is inside the iframe. This is one easy way to identify whether your locator is in the iframe or not. If it's in the iframe, we have to handle the iframe first, then we have to write or click or whatever we have to do. This is called as iframe. Now let us see what is inner frame. For example, if you take this website, here this frame 1, frame 2, frame 3 and frame 4, all of them are simple iframes. So we have already seen what is iframe. But here if you see this form page, this is called as inner frame. What it means by that, it's an iframe within one more iframe. This is called as the inner frame. So what it means by that, imagine this is our website we have already seen what is iframe. It's a frame within our parent frame. So what it means by inner frame, it's one more child frame within the iframe. So if an iframe is located within one more iframe, it is called as the inner frame. So let us see how to handle the inner frames also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the VS Code. Here I have created a project called frame tab window handling, and in this project I have already installed the Playwright, and also I have written the code to integrate with Lambda test. If you don't know how to install Playwright or how to integrate with Lambda test, please watch my previous video where I have clearly explained how to install Playwright and how to integrate with Lambda test. Now let me open up the first test, which is frame handling, and here you can see I have written three test blocks. The first test block is frame handling using page.frameLocator, and the second test is frame handling by using page.frame, and the last test is nested frame handling. So let us see how to do all of them. So whenever you wanted to automate the iframe, you can do it in two ways. One is by using the page.frameLocator method or by using page.frame method. Both of them will work exactly the same way. Whichever the way is convenient for you, you can do that. So here I have written the code just to open the website and to close the consent page. So this is the same code which you are writing from last 5-7 videos. So if you don't know how to do that, please refer to the older ones. So here what I have to do is, the first thing is I have to get the frame details. So if I go to the same website what we were seeing previously, let's say if I have to type something here in the your content. So before I'm doing that, I have to get the details of its iframe. So if I scroll up, you can see this is the iframe locator. Here it has a frame 1 as ID. So first let us see how to use the locator. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this iframe 1, and here I'm going to simply write as page dot, there is a method called as frame locator. So within this frame locator you can pass this hash, and this is a I didn't copy it properly. Let me copy once again. Hash iframe1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give a name to this. So I'm going to call as call frame equal to this. So what I have to do is, from now on all my operations should be top on this frame only. So what I'm going to type, await frame dot, and I have to gonna call the locator method like as usual. So from now on, as usual, you can try your regular way. So instead of page.locator, first you have to go to page.frameLocator, and then once you saved it into a constant, now we have to use await frame.locator, and within this I'm going to write the general locator to inspect this your content. So let me inspect it again. So here I can see it has a class. So I'm going to copy the class with div. So it's with div tag and with, this is the class name. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill something. Let's say I'm going to fill as lambda test. That's it. So this is how we handle the iframe. Now we have seen how to handle it by using frame locator. Next we will see how to handle it by using the page.frame method. Maybe we'll also write a simple assertion. So in our previous video, we have already seen how to write the different types of assertion. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to quickly write an assertion here, which is to check the content of the text box, whatever we wrote. So here you can see. So let me put it to frame. And it's always better to write frame question mark. The reason is, if there is no such frame, then the test will fail. So here this is an optional. Question marks means optional. So frame locator, I'm using the same locator div.rswce, and I'm getting the text content, and I'm checking if it is lambda test. So we are entering lambda test, and we are also asserting if it's the lambda test. So I'm going to copy this code, and I'm going to put it into the next test. So here again I have written the code to open the page and to clear the consent box. So here in this method, instead of page frame locator, what we are going to do, we are going to use page.frame method. So if I go and type as page.frame, you can see it's a method, and it is expecting me two things. Either it is expecting me the frame selector, or it is expecting me the name or in the URL. URL is the most commonly used one in the form of options. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the option symbol, and I'm going to type the URL. So how to get the URL of the frame? So if you go back to the frame, let me scroll up. So here you can see in the frame 100% always a frame will have a URL. So here if I scroll to the right, you can see something called as SRC. So always the URL will be mentioned in the SRC. So what you can do, just right click on this and click on copy link address. That's it. You have copied the URL and you can paste it. That's it. No much difference in the code. Rest all the codes differ means remains the same. So here in the previous test we have handled the frame identification by using frame locator. In this case we are directly using page.frame. That's the only difference between handling using page.frame versus handling using page locator. So this is how we handle the iframe. Now let us see how to handle the nested frame. Once I finish writing all the tests, we can run all the tests at one shot. Now what it means by nested frame, as I told you, we have to go to the first inner frame. From there we have to go to the second inner frame. So it is multi-traversing. That is the only difference. So what we have to do is, first we have to write the code to traverse to the first iframe. From there we have to write the code to traverse to the second iframe. So we have already seen how to traverse to the first iframe. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly paste the code and I'll explain you what we are doing here. So if I go to this demo website again, so here you can see this particular frame. Let me inspect this. So here you can see if I scroll up, this should have the frame. So here you can see it has a frame with SRC frame 3 HTML. So what I have did here is I have first went to the website by using page.goto and I'm creating a const frame 3 and here calling page.frame. I'm using page.frame method. If you want, you can use page.frameLocator also. It's up to you. And I'm passing the URL. Now what I'm doing is now I already went into the first frame. Now I have to go to the child frames. So frame 3 dot child frames will go to the child frame. So here I'm giving the name to be const child frames and here this has only one child frame. So here if I mouse over, you can see the return type is array of frames. So if I want to go to the first child, it's pretty simple. I'm just using child frames of 0. Don't think this as an error. So what VS Code is giving us a warning is child frames is possibly undefined. So what it says, there are chances that when you execute the code, the child frames can come as undefined. So you can easily fix it by just writing if block by passing child frames dot length is greater than 0, but it's unnecessary. Why? Because even if you don't fix it, you can still execute the test and the test will work. So here I'm going to the first child frame. So child frames of 0 dot locator and here I just wrote a simple locator to click on this web testing. So if I scroll down, you can see there is a web testing checkbox. We have already seen in detail how to handle a checkbox in our previous video. So I'm just giving div area label web testing dot check. That's it. So this is how we handle the frames. So how we handle the iframe, we can handle it either by using page.frame or by using page.frameLocator. Similarly, if you wanted to go to the nested frame, it's nothing but handling frames in different level. So first you have to go to the parent frame, from there you have to go to the child frame. So this is how we handle the frames in Playwright. Next, we will see how to handle the windows in Playwright. Now, Vignesh, what it means by window handling. Now, for example, if I'm taking this demo website, here you can see there are buttons which is called as follow on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and follow us on LinkedIn. For instance, let's say if I'm clicking on this like us on Facebook, you can see it opens the new link as a new window altogether. Usually all the operations which we have seen so far will open it in the same window. But here you can see it opens all together in a new window. This is called as the window handling. So what I should do, I should be writing the code to move the control from the parent window to the child window, because automatically the conversion will not happen. So we have to give the control of the playwright from the parent window to the child window, and we can do all the operations as we wanted, like how we do with the regular playwright. And once we are done with the work, we can close it out. This is called as the single window handling. Then what it means by multiple window handling. So let's say if I click on this button, you can see it is opening two windows. Like you can see if I move them next by next, you can see it is opening two windows. So this is called as multiple window handling. So what it means by that, here in this operation we have to say to our Playwright that, hey Playwright, whenever you click on this button you will be opening up with two windows. So we have to say which is the window 1 and which is the window 2, and based on the numbering which we give, it will do the operations. For example, in window 1, let's say we have to click on this decline optional cookies, and in window 2 we have to click on no thanks. Whatever the operations which we ask for, it will do according to that. So this is called as the multiple window handling. So now let us see how to do both the single window handling and multiple window handling. So let me go to the VS Code. So here I have already created a spec file called as window handling. Within this I have two test block. One is single window handling and one is multiple window handling. Again, here I have written the code to navigate to the page and to close the consent block. So let us see first how to do the window handling. So what is the first thing which we need to do is, here we have to handle the window the same way how we handled alert in our previous video. What it means by that, if you remember when we are learning how to handle alerts, before clicking on the button or before clicking on the button which triggers the alert, we have written something called as event listener by using page.on. We were saying what are all the things which will happen if this button is being clicked. So we have given all the instructions. That's the exact same way we are going to do for window handling too. So let us see how to do that. So first, what are we going to do? We are going to write something called as await space promise dot all. So promise dot all. So what is this promise dot all is, which means here you can see you can pass all the things, an array of promises. It creates a promise that is resolved within an array of results, which means if I wanted multiple things to be taken care of, then I will be using await promise dot all. So as you can see, it is expecting us to pass an array. So I'm passing an array, and within this array I'm going to pass two things. So what I'm going to say here is that page dot wait for event. So there is a method called wait for event. Within the method we can pass all the possible event can happen. So if I put single quotes, you can see it is giving multiple options like dialog as how we handle the alerts. Similarly, there is a event called as pop-up. Even though this is a window, but technically for Playwright it's a pop-up. Don't think as pop-up like how you see annoying pop-up, not that. This is a window, but for the Playwright it's a pop-up. So that's the first parameter which you need to pass, and you have to say this pop-up will be opening when you click on the button. So page dot click, and what is the button which you are going to click? So let me go back here. So this is the button which we are going to click for. So let me try to inspect this, and I already have the locator with me. So let me copy the locator, because we have seen already how to write the locators in our previous videos. So I'm just going to say, let me copy it again one more time. So this is the locator where I have writing a contains text which is like us on Facebook. So this is what we are going to click. So we are writing it in the reverse order, the same way how we did for alert, which means this pop-up will be triggered when this action is happening. Now once we are done with this, we are going to save the output of this into something called as const, and within the array symbol I'm going to give it a name to be, let's say, new window. Why? Because I know after this action is completed, it will open up a new window for me. So I'm going to write const new window. So now the control will not automatically go to the new window. What I'm going to do is, first I'm going to say await new window dot, first I have to wait for the load state. What it means by that, I have to wait until the new window opens and loads 100%. So how to say that? By passing new window dot wait for load state, which means wait until the load state, which means the network is getting idle, which means wait until all the API calls are completed. So after this, what I'm going to say, I'm going to say as await new window dot locator. So for instance, let's say if I'm opening this page one more time, so here let's say if I'm clicking on this like us on Facebook, here we have already seen it as giving us a warning of either to accept the optional cookies or not. So what I'm going to do as part of this, I'm going to decline the optional cookies. So I'm going to write a locator quickly on how to do that. So this is the locator. So await new window, because from now on all the action should be happening only from the new window. So await new window dot, and within this I'm going to pass this locator. So we have already seen how to do with locators, and here I'm going to click on it. That's it. So what is the learning here? Instead of directly using page.locator or something like that, first we have to write await.promiseAll, where we have to pass the page.waitForEvent as pop-up, and what is the action which is going to trigger this pop-up, that we have to write in the second line, and we are going to give and save it a name against to const within the array symbol as new window, and here await new window dot wait for load state to be network idle, and then we are clicking on this, which means we are basically doing the operation on the Facebook page. Now let us say we will do a simple assertion in this new window. So what is the assertion which we are going to write is, we are going to get the title out of this new window, and we are going to check if the title matching to lambda test Facebook. So it is opening the Facebook and it is auto going to the lambda test page. So here we are getting the new window title, and we are checking if it is equal to lambda test Facebook, and last is we are just closing the new window. So await new window dot close. This step is not mandatory. I'm just closing out to show you that the window is getting closed. That's it. So this is how we handle the single window. Now handling the single window versus handling the multiple window has no bigger difference. There are only one or two lines which will differ. Rest all the codes will be exactly the same. So let us see how to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the most of the codes from the test which we have written now. So if I scroll up, so we will be needing all of this code. So I'm just copying this, and here I'm gonna paste it up. So what is the first thing I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna change this. Instead of new window, I'm just gonna rename this. Instead of renaming, let me put it here directly, because it's as multiple window. Now this multiple window will be triggered whenever we are not clicking on like us on a Facebook, but instead this will be triggered. Let me go back to the website. So multiple windows will be triggered when we are clicking on follow Twitter and Facebook. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly write a locator for this. So this is the locator. If I'm searching with this, I /id follow both, you can see it is giving one of one, which I'm mousing over. You can see it is the button. So let me copy this, and I'm gonna paste it over here. So instead of this locator, it is going to be this one. So we are gonna click on it. So now it is opening multiple windows. So again here what I have to do is, I have to wait for the multiple window, wait for load state to be visible. Now if it is opening up only one window, Playwright will understand easily that hey, only one window open and I can operate with that. But whenever it opens multiple windows, we have to say to Playwright that hey, this is window 1 and this is the page, and this is the window 2 and this is the page. So only if we give this instruction, Playwright will understand which is window 1 and which is window 2. So how to do that? We can easily do it by multiple window dot context, not content, it's context dot I guess it's context, it's a method, sorry, context dot pages. So this is the one which we have to write here, and you can see the pages is returning us an array of page. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to save this to be const pages. What it means by that, pages of 1, which means the 0th index of the pages will be the first window which got opened, and the pages of 1, which is the first index, sorry, the second index will be opening the second window. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly write as await pages of 1, and I'm gonna wait for load state, the same code. I'm just waiting for both the page to be loaded 100% before I'm doing any operation. So I'm going to duplicate this line, and I'm going to change this to be pages of 2. So now both the pages are loaded. Now what I'm going to do is, one important thing which you need to bear in mind, whenever you're working with multiple windows is that both the windows will be opening on top of one another. Now you can ask me a question, Vignesh, how will I know which window is opening first and which window is opening second? Now, this is a demo website. So here the windows are opening in a random manner, which means that sometimes Facebook will open first and Twitter will open second. Sometimes the Twitter will open first and the Facebook will open second. But if you're working on your office project, then in that case, always there will be a dedicated way that always this is the first window should open and this is the second window should open. So when you are not sure that which window opens first and which windows open next, what you can simply do is you can write a console.log pages1.title. Similarly, console.log pages2.title. And when you run this test like 2 or 3 times, you can see the order printing in the console.log. So if all the time the pages1.title is pointing to Facebook and all the time the pages2.title pointing to Twitter, which means always Facebook opens first and Twitter opens second. So like that you can easily understand. And also one more important thing which you need to do when working with multiple windows is always you have to call the method pages of one or whatever pages of two. There is a method called bring to front. So what it means by that, this will bring the hiding window to the front, which means to the visible position. Similarly, you can also type as await. I can even duplicate this line. So await pages to dot bring to front. So what I'm going to quickly do, I'm just going to write two assertions, which is to basically check both the pages title as I just mentioned. So let me paste the code over here. So the first assertion is to get the title and check if it is lambda test Facebook, and the second title is to check if it contains the value x. X is the new name for Twitter. So this is what we are going to do here. And the last thing which we are going to write is await pages of one dot close. Similarly, I'm going to write one for await pages 2 dot close. That's it. So this is how you handle the multiple window in Playwright. Now let us see how to handle the multiple tab in Playwright. Now, handling multiple tabs or single tab versus handling single window or multiple window in Playwright is exactly same. There is not even 1% difference in how you handle that. The same way how you handle the single window is the same code which you write for single tab. The same way you handle the multiple window is the same way you handle for multiple tab. So according to Playwright, everything is a pop-up. It doesn't matter if it's being tied up to the same window as a new tab or as a separate window, Playwright will not care about it. For it, always everything is a pop-up. So what I have did here is I have already pre-written the code exactly like how we did for the single window and multiple window. Let me demonstrate here quickly. So if I go to this website, which is our demo website, demo.automationtesting./windows.html. So here you can see if I click on this button, it will open a new tab. So you can see in the same window, it is opening up a new tab, which is Selenium. Similarly, if I close this and if I go to the second one, here it is open new separate windows. So here if I click on this, this will open a new window, which is fine. If I click on the third one, and if I click on this, you can see it is opening multiple tabs in the same window. You can see it is opening multiple tabs. First it's opening demo.automationtesting and second it is opening the Selenium website. As I mentioned earlier, handling window versus handling tab is exactly the same code, no change at all. So let me walk you through the code. So first we have to go to the website, then we have to click on the button to trigger the to go to the particular page, and here the code is exactly the same. If you remember, this is the same what we written for window handling. Await promise.all page.wait for event which is pop-up, and we have to say which event triggers this pop-up. And once this is done, I'm just moving my control to the new tab. So new tab, wait for load state network idle, and I'm doing some operations in the new tab just to make sure that it is working. This is single tab handling. Similarly, we also have multi-tab handling the exact same way how we wrote for multi-window. So we are doing await promise.all the same fashion. I'm giving it a name as multi-tab, and here I'm doing the same thing. First I'm getting the pages out from it, pages 1, pages 2, pages 1 dot bring to front, the exact same code whatever we wrote for multiple window, that's the exact same code we are writing for multiple tabs also. So far we have seen how to handle the frame, how to handle the window, and how to handle the tabs. So let us execute the code to make sure everything is working fine. So here in .n, it's already having the lambda test. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly run npm run win10 chrome, which means all the 6 tests will be running against the Windows 10 Chrome. So let me go to the lambda test dashboard. So these are the runs which we previously did as part of the previous videos. So let us wait until the test triggers. Once the test triggers, we should be seeing 6 builds and all the automation should be running in the lambda test. So in the meantime, when the test executes, let me reiterate whatever we learned so far. So we have first learned what is frame and what is iframe and what is inner frame, and how to handle an iframe. We can handle it by two ways. One is by using page.frameLocator and another is by page.frame. And we also have seen how to handle the nested frame. So how to handle a nested frame, which means first you have to go your control to the first frame. From there you have to go to the second frame. This is how you will handle the frame and nested frame in Playwright. So you can see the test is getting started. Maybe it will take 30 seconds or a minute for it to get complete. So let us wait until the execution is over. In the meantime, let me continue reiterating the other topics which we just learned. So the next topic which we learned, how to handle the single window versus how to handle the multiple window. So handling single window and multiple window, the code is exactly the same. We have to use await promise.all and we have to write page.wait for event. We have to wait for the event which is pop up, and then we have to write as new window, and we can do all the operations on top of that, like new window dot locator, new window wait for timeout. Like that we can write all the options. Similarly, for multiple windows, the only difference between single window versus multiple windows is single window you can directly access them by new window dot locator, but for multiple windows you have to go from window to pages by calling window dot context dot pages, and then you can use pages of one and pages of two to navigate between multiple windows. The exact same code what we wrote for windows is the way you will write it for tabs, for both single tab as well as multi-tab handling, because from Playwright's perspective all of them are pop-ups. So there are no difference between how you handle a single window or single tab versus how you handle a multi-window versus multiple tab. So you can see the tests are starting to get passed. So the test will definitely pass here because we have written proper assertions and everything. So the test will get passed. So far we have clearly seen how to handle frame, window, and tab. I hope this video was insightful for you. Thanks for watching the video. If you are interested, you can watch the rest of the videos added as part of this Playwright series. Thank you.